Most of us were traveling very far, from very far, different geographical locations, but I thank God that all of you arrived safe. We still have guests who are actually on their way here, and we pray for journey mercies that they'll get here safe. I want to invite the chairperson that steered the committee of this beautiful event, who will also take us ahead. She will introduce herself. You know, I think where their mothers, you know, when a mother has sat down to prepare something, something good happens, isn't it? You notice that there is something good happening here. And when Bosco Mulo is singing about mother, it crossed my thoughts. And I want to thank Daktari Zipporah Mutea for having steered this team. That was very generous of her, and her leadership skills has made us get to this point. Asante sana mama. And I want to also thank the host. And I know the host will talk to us and welcome us officially. So I would want to welcome Daktari Zipporah to come and introduce herself and take us forward.
When we started talking about this event, it was like a joke. But here we are. I want to thank you all very much for your love, for your commitment, for your determination. Thank you for coming. Without you, this would not be happening. Thank you all very much. Can you clap for yourselves? I wish to thank the members of this committee. It is not me, really. It is them. Especially Boniface. He has worked very, very, very hard and very well. He has displayed skills that most of the youth here should emulate. Hard work, focus, determination, and passion. The same can be said of Bosire and even Edna. Much as she was away, she was a great source of inspiration. I had never seen these young people before. In fact, I met Boniface and Bosire for the first time, I think 2 days ago, is when I saw them face to face. But the connection that developed in the group was so strong. It is the one that has brought us here. The connection even from afar, as far as away overseas. I really feel touched by this. I also feel encouraged to see that we are going to do greater things. But we would not be here today if we did not have our host. Our most gracious Professor Kivutha Kibwana. Thank you so much, Prof. When the idea of meeting was mooted, we talked about it, but Professor was very quick to say that he was going to give us alarm, that he was going to host us. And it is from then that now we started making our plans more concrete. He did not just promise to host, but he also steered us as part of this committee. In fact, he is the one to be thanked. He gave us ideas, he gave us encouragement, Even when it looked like it was not going to work, he was very positive. He was very determined. He was very fatherly and very gracious. But perhaps he would not have also been so confident in hosting us were it not for his lovely wife. She is not here now, but we have been with her, and I believe she will be here with us today. She has worked extremely hard, Mama Nasi. I got to know her also as we were preparing this. And she was so generous, so gracious. You know, we talked as if we had known each other for a long time. She was very quick to agree that she was going to help with the fermented porridge, which was one of the main things that people talked about. And when I brought some bananas yesterday, she was very happy to say that people are going to eat these bananas. So I really want to thank this couple, even for their love, for their humility. Because this is not common, this is not usual. They are a real blessing. Their love for us, and especially for the young people, is quite evident. And also, these are people who are intellectuals. And they are giving us wisdom and knowledge and an opportunity and a platform for us to share these ideas. So I want to thank that family very much for this. And now I would like to welcome Professor Kivutha Kibwana to talk to us and welcome us to this place before we can proceed to do other things.
So I really, first of all, welcome, all of us who have come from, far and wide, some from abroad, some from, quite some distance to get to Nairobi and to get to Makueni, Mali. So it's really something that one is very grateful for and happy for because of what people have done to be here at their expense, and we are, very, very happy. Nazi, my spouse, she's still doing preparations for tomorrow, and we hope she will make it today. We have divided duties, and if she doesn't tomorrow at home, she will be there, and she has really been a blessing in this situation. You will kind of allow me to read a speech. I think our chair was allowed to speak fluently, but now if I try to emulate, I might not. So you will allow me to read a speech. Am I allowed? Yes. This is for the East Africa Art Meat and Meat Extravaganza. I don't know how you pronounce meat and meat to distinguish them, but it is for meat and meat. I'm deeply honored to welcome you today, this Friday, the 8th of December, Saturday 9th December, to our home with Nazi here in Emali, Makueni County, and for this Meat and Meat Art Festival. The idea, as the chair said, at its beginning was simply to be an informal conversation and gathering, but with time, it has evolved and recreated itself to be a festival to celebrate art and artists, to celebrate ourselves. This is an important eventuality because we, as artists, are always busying ourselves with taking care of others, taking care of the world. We forget about ourselves, our self-care. For artists with activist tendencies particularly, the challenge is making sure not to get swept away and forget to celebrate and savor our own lives and works. to serve our life, even as we spend time focusing on and trying to resolve the ills in the world. The theme for this literature extravaganza is celebrating literature, culture, and community, a theme that speaks to a growing consciousness about where we are as a creative community today and our philosophy of life. Outside of the early creative writing of the 18th and 19th century found in the poetry of the East African coast, the mainstream creative writing movement in East Africa, which can be traced to the first Makerere African Writers Conference at Makerere University in 1962, began from a place of earnestness. The concept of commitment was debated heatedly in the 1970s and 80s as African writers grappled with the question of their role in society. In East Africa, Ngugi wa Thiong'o, Michere Mugo, Chris Wanjala, Peter Nazareth, among others, all challenged African writers to write works that would be of use to their societies and that would positively transform the political and name the age we are in today, who we represent, what the biggest challenges are, the direction to go, the work to be done. We must therefore take time to ask ourselves, what umbrella are we sitting under today? Is it one of our choosing? Does it authentically represent our concerns, speak to our fears, desires, delights, joys, and pains? What are the new communities we want to imagine, create, and be a part of, rather than merely lamenting against the current toxic space? What are the new dreams we want to dream? What are the new visions we want to see? One of the truths that must be engaged with is the question of what life is like for each one of us in Kenya, and one could add East Africa and Africa today, if there is joy in it, if there is meaning in it, what it means to have been born in this space called Kenya, East Africa, Africa. What game is necessary to play in this space called again Kenya, East Africa, Africa? These are questions each writer must deal with on an individual level. Attempting to prescribe on society without first prescribing within oneself signifies disconnection and alienation. So these questions are for you, the individual. What is worth fighting for in your own life? What is worth living for at a time of despair, despondency, apathy, pessimism, and cynicism? Why is it still important to hold on to your light? Often creatives and intellectuals will use their lofty causes, visions, and missions as excuses to escape the pain pricks to the heart that these questions produce. Living life without these resolved at a soul level, shouldering life's mundanities and responsibilities, is unbearable, unwieldy, and unsustainable. Some of these questions can be answered on an individual level. Some of them can be answered as a collective. What are we writers about today? What is our game? How do we maneuver and survive in the world when one of our sharpest weapons, truth, has been devalued and discredited beyond imagination? What is the direction for our future? To where are we headed? And how will we get there? Thought is needed to be put into innovation and disruption. What are the ossified ways of thinking we need to be throwing off? What are the archaic ways of doing things that we need to leave behind? What are the literally movements we need to be sparking off? What is called for in this age? How are we adding value to ourselves, to the communities we are in? How can we invest in the community, in the ecosystem of writers, in the new generation of writers coming behind us? How can we get our literary and creative infrastructure to be of better quality, to serve us better? What are the goals we need to set? What are the milestones? How do we raise ourselves to excellence, competing and winning in the various Olympic levels of writing, such as the Nobel Prizes, the Bookers? How does East African and African writing find a space on the international publishing scene? Central and foundational to this is ensuring writers' wellness at the level of body, mind, and soul. I thank my co-host, Nazi Mwambura, the organizing committee that worked hard day and night to make this happen. I thank the Kenya Literary Association, East African Literary and Cultural Association, and the Bleeding Ink Global Writers Society for their work in it all, not forgetting the staff of Sky Hotel, Shina Foundation, and the residents of Emali. I thank everyone who made a contribution with resources, prayer, or goodwill to ensure it came to pass. And I thank everyone who has taken the time to join us here, both in person and I hope online. As Okonkwo, Chinua Achebe's most famous character from Things Fall Apart said, a man, and I think you know that should have also said a woman, a man who calls his kinsmen to a feast does not do so to save them from starving. They all have food in their own homes. When we gather together in the moonlight village ground, it is not because of the moon. Every man and woman can see it is in his or her compound. We come together because it is good for kinsmen and kinswomen to do so. Asanteni sana na karibuni, karibuni, karibuni. We are going to enjoy ourselves and to do well. Asanteni.
Boniface just called me an organizing secretary, but this is a big title. He should have said I'm just the errand boy running around instead of giving me a very big name in place of just this normal errand boy. I'm happy that you found time, first of all, to be here for this event to be a success tonight. Please clap for yourself in the first place. Two, it's also an honor that you, after we called for this home stretch one, you actually took time away from your busy schedules, traveling over hills and valleys, plains, to join us this evening at our host's home, Professor Kivutha Kibwana. Clap for Professor Kivutha Kibwana. And I don't want to take much of your time because, as Boniface said, we'll speak and speak. I want to actually tell you that among the things that Dr. Mtea said, organizing an event is not easy, but I'll say it is easy. The bit that is tricky is having a forum and a quorum like this to attend such a function. Please clap for yourselves once again. It's a treasure to have great minds together because as we meet, as we party, as we treasure ourselves, I know something comes up. And as we are about to give birth to a baby, doctor, you should have told them that we are in maternity for the evening. Home stretch one baby is about to be born, and we are starting the countdown to around 3, 4, 5 a.m., whichever the time. You didn't come to sleep, you came to exchange, and we'll take our time and exchange. Thank you so much for listening.
So, I was the only girl in the group, apart from our mom, and the boys did keep me awake. They forgot the time zones, so some days I didn't get to sleep just to finish everything that they left. When they were getting discouraged, they'll send me to her, but I'll always write because I don't know how to talk. So I'm happy to be here. I want to enjoy. And today I want Professor Gwele to see that even though I am a math and physics person, we also have fun in words. He always thinks we are boring people in math. We can also be fun. Thank you.